Welcome to Shri Management channel. Today we are going to talk about updated returns in the income tax filing. Who can file an updated return? What are the provisions involved when we are filing an updated return? And we will also see how to file it online directly from the income tax portal. So you already know that when in case if you are filing a return on time, would follow section 139(1). And there is other variety where you can file a delayed return until 31st of December of the assessment year. And you can also have a revised return, of course, within the due date. So we are talking about an updated return which is different from all the three varieties which we spoke. This actually gives time to the SSC until 2 years from the end of the assessment year. We will go through the specific section. I have kept it open and ready. In case if you have already detailed knowledge about the specific section and you just want to know how to file it online, you can directly skip to the specific time I have marked it in the video. But I would strongly recommend that you follow the conversation so that you have complete knowledge about where you cannot file or where you can use the updated return and file it for yourself, or let's say if you are filing it for a specific client, you can do that. So I'm in the income tax department website where I have chosen the specific section 139 and kept it ready. So in this specific section, if you go scroll down, you would see this a topic about 8A, which is a section pertaining to updated return. So here it is. So here is the section about 8A. So it allows the SSC to file an updated return from any time within 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. That means in case if you're talking about an current assessment year 2023-2024, we can file until 31st of March 2026. Whereas there are other provision as well. Of course, this has some implications when depending on the time frame. I will talk about it when we are showing the ITR form itself. In addition to that, this provision of filing an updated return shall not apply in case if the return is about filing a loss, or let's say if you're decreasing the tax liability. That means that if you have already filed an original return, a delayed return or a revised return, and this results in going to be a decreasing in total tax liability, then you cannot use the updated tax return. Or in case if it results in the refund or increase in the refund from the original return, whatever we filed, then you cannot use an updated tax return. There are a few additional details which is not eligible cases. For example, if a search has been initiated on the SSC, or if a survey has been conducted under the specific section, or if a notice has been issued in terms of the money, jewelry and certain other things, or if a notice has been issued in effect that the books of accounts have been seized or requisitioned, and then if there were certain investigations happening. In such cases, you cannot file an updated return. And then no updated return shall be furnished by any person in case if there is already an updated return which has been filed for that specific assessment year, or if there was some reassessment or recomputation or revision of income. So these things we have to keep in mind before we really proceed into filing an updated return using section 139(8)(a). And then there is also an additional thing in case if the previous return is just a loss which has been filed, and updated return can also file on that. So no worries, we can use this for updated return filing on the previously filed loss return as well. An additional topic to keep in mind is that in case if there was previously carried forward losses under Chapter 6A or some unabsorbed depreciation, or if there were additional conditions like in case of tax credits carried forward, of course, people who have opted out of the default tax return. So go through this specific section again in case if you have any questions when you're filing the updated tax return. This is pertaining to section 8A of section 139. So after that, once you have understood this filing regarding section 139 8A, you have to look at the income tax level. Here you have facility to file the return using an Excel utility. For this specific example, I have selected assessment year 21-22. That means that we are talking about an assessment year which was 2 years before from the time of recording of this video. So we have time for this assessment year of 2021 and 22 until 31st of March 2024. That means the 2 years from the end of the assessment year for which you are filing an updated return. So I have selected here the return filing type as updated return. And of course, this is not an audited regard political party. I'm filing it for an individual as an example. So you have to select the return for which you have to file an updated return. You can file an updated return ITR1 or ITR2 as well, or any other ITR pertaining to. So I have selected for this example ITR2 and clicked on continue. The website would already show a certain instructions on the screen in the form of this error message. So you could see that you should not file a return in case of loss and should not file in case there is a decreasing of the total tax liability. In case if there was not, if there was, you're asking for a refund, then updated return cannot file. So go through these specific things. In case if you are filing for any of these specific topics, then you cannot file an updated return. So I clicked on confirmation and proceeded. So here we have a facility to upload the filled in Excel sheet, and then we can click on proceed and final confirmation. This is as simple as we are filing a normal ITR2 version. So let me show you. So if you click on here as a link, it will take to the Excel utility for which you are trying to get it. This is for the pertaining assessment year. So I have selected the assessment year 2021-22. So I can go there and then download the Excel utility for ITR2. I have noticed from several customers, even some of my clients, when they were downloading ITR2, they have encountered issue in opening the Excel macro version. So make sure that your Microsoft Excel version is at least more than 2010, so that you will have more easier access to the macros and utilities. Though by default this is supported from Windows 7, I have encountered problems opening with Microsoft utility Excel utility of 2007. So I would strongly recommend that you update your Microsoft Excel version more than 2010, and also make sure that your Java version is updated so that your Excel macros would work all right. So when I clicked on this Excel based utility, and then I downloaded it and kept it ready. So here is the downloaded version. I would quickly go through those specific sections when we are filing updated return. Rest of the items are as same as we are filing for ITR2. So here, what I have selected for the purpose of the return filing in the drop down. So I have selected updated return. Maybe it is too small, so let me magnify it. So this is the updated version. Here I have selected ITR2 in this. Under the option for filed response, I selected here 139.8A. So this would update the rest of the tabs as well. So that's why you would see here part A for 139.8A gets added to this ITR return. It is important that you select here under A11 for which period you are updating. Are you updating it between 12 to 24 months from the end of the assessment year? Or let's say if you're updating it before 24 months. So here there are a couple of versions. Let me show you. So if you go here, there is one thing is until 12 months of the relevant assessment year, or something between 12 to 24 months. I have selected here 12 to 24 months because I'm filing almost at the end of the period in March. So I'm just 6 days away from 31st of March, because for the assessment year I have selected 2021 and 22. I'm nearing to the end of a 2-year completion. That's why I selected here the period between 12 to 24 months. Keep in mind that this has a bearing on the interest calculation. That means in case if you are filing the updated return up to 12 months of the end of the assessment year, then there is an interest component which is levied, which is 25% of the interest on the tax calculated. So in case if you are between 12 to 24 months, then there is a 50% of interest which will be levied as a fees uh, on the interest calculated. Yeah, so this has a bearing on that. So once you selected this, you can go ahead and fill schedules from salary, house property, capital gains, and so on and so forth, which will allow to compute in case if there was any additional TDS or any other deductions. Finally, I would quickly like to jump on to part 81, ATI. So here you would see that in case of my example, I have a tax liability of 560 rupees. And then because I have selected a period which was between 12 to 24 months, and 50% on my tax liability has added up. And then you typically remember that when you are filing a TDS using a normal process, you will file the TDS in the TDS chapter. And then you would also add the additional challan details in the sections above. But for example, when you are filing an updated return, you specifically remember that the TDS requirements, whatever to fill in to pay the challan, that is called self-assessment, and that challan details shall be added under section 140B, which is different from a normal section of 140A, which is filed in the TDS section. Only for the case of updated returns, you need to file in this specific section of ITR2. So once you fill in this challan details in section 140B, just save this Excel and then proceed to validate the specific sheets and generate a JSON. This you can use it to upload in the Excel utility, which I will show. So come back to this place, and then once you have this JSON ready, you can upload in the attachment file and you can proceed for verification. That concludes the filing of updated return using ITR2. If you have more questions at any of those steps which we have discussed, feel free to comment in the video. I would be more than happy to answer them. Most of the times, the issues you would encounter would be similar or generic in nature. So it will be easy in case if one of us would answer them for you, then you could take it forward. I hope this video has really added value to you while you are filing an updated return. Do feel free to share this video with your friends and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Let's see me.